Good evening, YouTube world. Steve Billionaird. Hope everyone is having an enjoyable day. So this new video, Billionaire Proverb, for those of you that have been watching my video book, as I call it, video book series of Billionaire Proverb, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching. And hopefully you're being motivated and inspired. Also getting your critical thinking cap on and giving different perspectives. And those for you that are new, let me briefly explain Billionaire Proverbs. Is basically, I came up with different motivational quotes, inspirational quotes, also wellness and therapy type quotes, and just life quotes. So this is going to one day be a book, but I've also come up with the idea to do this, what would be called a video book series. And I'm sure there's some that are out there, but I don't think it's a lot out there, but I think this is a cool way of doing it because then I'm explaining the process or the thought process that came behind this motivational quote or this quote. And a lot of times it's from personal experiences, life experiences of mine, of others, and just, different things that go on in life. So that's how I've come up with these quotes. So hopefully by going through the quote and explaining what it means and giving the perspective of it and the circumstances or the definitions behind it, hopefully it will help or resonate with someone and it'll inspire you. So with that being said, let's go into the billionaire quote of the day, or for this particular video. And this one is going to have to do with relationship or marriage. And this is something, even through my experience, I think you should strive for. That's what I would say. And at least, hopefully for me, this would be something that I would love to have with a future partner. So let's get right into it. So this is the Billionaire Proverb of the day. Sometimes I may repeat it once or twice, maybe even 3 times, but we'll see, depending. It's a pretty lengthy quote. So here it is, Billionaire Proverb. The most exciting thing in a new relationship is learning you. Studying each other is the lesson plan. Studying each other is the lesson plan to figure out, Passing and failing celebrates one another and should make you work harder to learn from your mistakes, to have each other better the goal, and that is to graduate in love and continue to master your bond of being together forever. So let me say that one more time because I kind of sort of said it fragmented. But let me read that one more time. The most exciting thing in a new relationship is learning you. Studying each other is the lesson plans to figure out. Passing and failing celebrates one another and should make you work harder to learn from your mistakes. To make each other better is the goal. To graduate in love and continue to master your bond of being together forever. So, how I came up with that is, and just to share a little personal story, because, like I said, these quotes can sometimes be personal, come from my life experiences, or come from friends, family, or just anyone experiences. And I'm sure you've all been in relationships, and when you first start a relationship, everybody is on their P's and Q's and on their best behavior and the right side first. And then you get to know each other because obviously you want to impress the person, right? You want them to see all the good sides and all the things that are great about you. But as you go along in your relationship, and once you become together, or y'all both make the decision to be together, as they say, as one, then you start learning the other side of a person. And depending on what it is, we all have flaws. We all are not perfect. So you start learning things, and you start seeing things that you particularly may not like. So that's where the challenges start to come in. And then you have being able to coexist with each other after you with each other for a period of time. Then you have life and what that presents, and the circumstances and challenges that presents to you both as well. So when I say in my quote, the most exciting thing in a new relationship is learning you, because when you think about it, even though you're with the other person, you're actually learning about yourself too. And sometimes, and that is, I guess I would say, the most challenging and yet compelling thing is you start learning about yourself. Because sometimes, and I'll use the analogy of a mirror. When you look at the mirror, it's what is the mirror going to do? It's going to give a reflection of yourself, give a reflection of you. But that is the image and the physical reflection. What we come to find out about ourselves, and obviously we start learning from others, whether it's your mate, the person that you're with, your family, your friends, is certain things may be pointed out, or certain things may be told to you that will make you think or may not be nice. Now, with that being said, it has to be something that obviously it's a truth, or it's something that it really is, something about you, right? So once you learn that and find that out, and if it's something that is not so good, and I'll just keep it, I'll just use one simple example. You may fast forward, maybe living with a person, or now you're married or whatever, and then you find out the person, or you just been around them, they're not the most neatest or cleanest person in the world, right? So then it's like, oh wow. And if you're neat, and if you're especially anal about it, then that can be a potential clash, or potential, okay, this is not going to work. This may or may not going to be a good thing, because the person that's clean obviously wants the household or the surroundings to be clean. The person that's not so clean, that means that you don't put the effort or the time to do it. So now this is what I say, the test. The test is, obviously, we know that being sloppy, being not so clean is not a good thing. We do know that. So now it comes down to, okay, now you have to obviously put the effort in to become, or to make yourself better, and give the attention to keep things straight, keep things clean, right? Now, no one is saying, because everybody has different levels of that you have to be perfect, but now you have to start working on becoming better and being, in that example, more clean. So then the person that you with is comfortable and is satisfied, and y'all both can quote unquote coexist. So now the test is, are you going to give the effort to become more clean, or you're not going to make the effort to do it? And then that's when the conflict can come in. That's when it can be a little challenging. So when I say that, when I go back to my quote saying, you can either, it's a lesson, and you can either pass or to fail, and it celebrates one another. What I mean by that is, obviously, if the person is getting better at that, then he's passing or she's passing. So now everybody loves encouragement, everybody loves the motivation, and obviously you want to please the person that you're with, and you want them to feel happy and comfortable. So that's the part where it comes down to fast forward, and we just go and say it in a positive sense, that if the person now is better than he was before or she was before in cleaning, now y'all both are happy, and it's a celebration because it's like, I've gotten better. I used to be sloppy. I used to didn't care about things being in order or organized and straightened up. And now I'm much better at it. And that's thanks to my mate. So that's where the celebration comes in, is because as a couple, as a relationship, you want to push each other and you want to better each other. But with that being said, it's a way of saying it, it's a way of encouraging, and then it's a way of not doing it so nice. Because if you're abrasive, and if you're, why did you clean? Why you didn't do this? Why you didn't? Then that's not going to, it's not going to come off good. So I just wanted to use that example. But in relationships, and when you with someone, there's going to be a lot of different things that will happen. That, again, it will be a test to you both, in order to, now, if you're both discussed it, whatever it is, and now y'all recognize whatever the problem or the situation is, then now you can talk about it, communicate. And that's another thing within this quote that is the most important thing. Communication is definitely the most important thing. If you don't have communication, then it doesn't matter any of this. You're gonna fail, the relationship is gonna fail, and it's not going to last. So the first and foremost thing you have to have is communication. And then it's effort, and then it's hard work. And then once, whatever the scenario or the situation is, if a person is making the effort to get better, then that's when the celebration comes in for that person. And then that person feels great. That person feels loved. That person feels like, wow, okay, I did something, and now my partner is happy and they're comfortable, and now we can move forward and be happy and, go on to the next thing. And this is also in life too. Things happen in relationships, ups and downs, job situations, money situations, a lot of different things that happen. Person not getting attention, whereas they used to get it in the beginning. So all of these things, as you grow in a relationship, you have to always recognize it, but at the same time, always have patience for one another to get better at it, because we're not an expert or great in everything. So as I say in the last part of my quote, to learn from your mistakes, to make each other better is the goal. That is the goal. You want to learn from your mistakes. You want to learn from the mistakes that, whatever it is that you have with each other. And if you can do that and you can work towards it and get better, then I use the school term, because the whole quote is based on a school analogy, or just, passing, failing tests. And just to speak on failing, there was a time, and I'll just speak personally, when I was taught that failing was like, oh my God, it was the worst thing in the world. Like, you cannot fail. And what we have to understand, that is a lot of pressure when you have that type of, bar, like you can't fail. But as I've gotten older and as I've been able to educate and have more knowledge and see the world and see different things and see different dynamics of people, relationships, friends, so on and so forth, and being at different jobs and all that, it's okay to fail, because going back into my quote, mistakes, that's what's going to get you better. Errors, that's what's going to get you better. You get better from learning from your mistakes. You get better from failing, because now you know what not to do. You know what's wrong. And now you're on the path of going towards what's right. So when I use the last part of my quote, when I say the goal is to make each other better, and the goal is to graduate in love and continue to master your bond of being together forever. That is the goal. If you chose this person, quote unquote, and you made that decision that you love them and you want to be with them for the rest of this life, and on this earth, in this present, and in the future, then you're saying that this is the person for you, right? So if that's the person for you, you have to work towards building that bond and mastering that bond. And then each time as you go on in life, you graduate. And then the goal, and obviously the celebration, is being together. There are couples, and I've met couples that have been together for 30, 40, 50 years. And I used to ask them, like, what is the secret? Most of them always said to me, communication first and foremost is number one. Whether you want to hear things that are not so nice, or you don't want to hear things that are told to you, to that person letting you know how they feel for whatever it is you should be able to do that, and vice versa. Because if you're not able to communicate and allow your thoughts, your feelings, or whatever it is you're going through, then it's never going to get solved. And then that person keeps it in them, and then they get triggered and it reacts in not so nice ways. So the number one thing is communication. And then two, which I didn't add in this quote, but I would add to it in this video, is, and they've told me, just not taking things so serious, kind of taking it in a way of light, making it funny, making it like it's not that serious of deal. Now, we can't do that in all things, but when we get mad, when we get into arguments or whatever, yeah, that's your emotions. You're going to react how you're going to react. We all want to be slow to anger, and that's what it says in the Bible, biblically, God, be slow to anger, be patient. But unfortunately, we don't do that. But that's another goals of doing, being patient and being slow to anger. And then, even if those things happen, once you walk away, once you have time to think about it, once you both figure out what role it was, who got who upset, who said something they shouldn't have said, and all of that, you come back together, you talk it out, and then after talking it out, once you really see it wasn't that serious, it wasn't that big a deal, then this is what I think the humor should come into it, saying like, why did I say that? I was just so upset. I didn't mean that. You know I love you, whatever it is. It's called reassurance. And it's called letting them know that, because we say things that can be harsh and that we don't mean. But in the end, we want to let that person know and reassure them like it wasn't that deep, it wasn't that serious, and I love you. So I'm gonna go over the quote one more time, and then we're gonna sum the video up. And the quote again, for it to all make sense, is the most exciting thing in a new relationship is learning you. Very important, because if you don't know you and you don't start learning about the good things and the great things about you and the not so great things about you and improving, because we all have to improve, then you're not going to have a good relationship. You're not going to be able to, when things come up, when challenges come up, when lessons come up, to be able to pass. And even if you don't pass, you have to learn from those lessons, good and bad, and get better at it. And then when I say studying each other is the lesson plans to figure out. Meaning once whatever it is that happened, especially if it's not a not so good situation, then now once the person lets you know what they would like you to, how to be, how they want you to make them feel comfortable, or what you need to do, now it's up to you to take the steps to do it. Then when I say passing and failing celebrates one another and should make you work harder to learn from your mistakes to make each other better. That's what it's all about. Because once you understand and know what it is, if you love that person, you're going to work harder to make the effort to be with that person. And let me give you a sidebar on that. And to me, and when I see relationships that don't last, it is because people give up. They don't give enough effort. Now, with that being said, sometimes it may not be meant for y'all to be together, but at the very least, you have to work at it. People think love, I fell in love, physically attractive, all that, and then they think that it's just supposed to be happy ever after. No, it doesn't work like that. You're gonna go through trials. You're gonna go through adversity. You're gonna go through different situations, things that's gonna come out of nowhere that you're not even expecting. And another thing is the experience. If a certain person don't have an experience, whether it's finances, whether it's whatever the situation is, if they don't have the experience, then of course they're not going to be able to handle it or know what to say and what to do. And that's where the patience come in. That's where slow to anger comes in, because you have to be open to give that person grace, and at the same time, that person has to give the effort to become better. Pretty much. So and I'll finish my quote, once you learn from your mistakes, and I'll say it again, it makes each other better. The goal is to graduate in love and continue to master your bond of being together forever. And that's what it is. When we went to school, we went to first grade, second grade, junior high school, and then you went to college. And then if you want to go further, is your your bachelor's, and then your master's, and then doctorate and all that, right? In order to come together and to stay as one, you have to consistently build the bond with each other. And then once you get it to that point, then it's a smooth ride, because I know you, you know me. We've been studying each other for years. We've We've passed tests in certain situations and circumstances. We failed, but the most important thing, and this is where I'm going to end it, is you both learned from it. And now y'all came together. And once you can come together as one, now it's smooth sailing, because y'all been together for years. Y'all been through the ups and downs. Y'all been through adversity. Y'all have weathered the storms. And now you can just go forward for the rest of your lives and live a beautiful life together forever. So that's the Billionaire Proverb. I hope it resonated with someone. I hope I explained it. I probably over-explained it, and that's okay, because sometimes I like to give different perspectives and different breakdowns, especially when it comes to my quotes. And I hope, within the quote and within the things that I've said, that, it resonate. And hopefully this can help you in your relationships and with the person you're with. If you're married, if you're going through some troubled waters, we've all been there, or in a relationship. This is something that can, hopefully I gave some tips, or give you something to think about, critically think about, that'll help you understand that. And I'll end it with this. A lot of times we see all the glamour and the glitz of marriages and love and everything, but no one really teaches, what do you do when there's adversity? What do you do when you're going through things? How do you handle it? And how do you navigate getting through the problems, the struggles, the loss of jobs, the loss of finances, the bills, all the different things, even cheating, even, indiscretion. That's another thing too. But it all comes down to understanding and knowing if this is the person you want to be with. And then there's fighting for them too. If this is the person you want to be with, then you're going to do whatever you need to do. And then that comes, and I said that in the previous video, unconditional love. So it's most important to find or know the person that you want to be with. That is very important, because the effort, the time, especially the time that you put into someone, you want to make sure you're putting it into the right person. Thank you so much for watching this. If you watched it all the way through, thank you so much. It's going to definitely up my watch hours. Please subscribe. Please tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. Again, thank you so much for watching. I love doing these type of videos, and I just hope it resonates with someone. Any comments, please leave any comments. I'm more than happy to answer it. And also, if you can give me some tips, I'll take that too. Because see, I'm never going to be closed-minded, especially for people that have been in relationships, that have been in marriages for lots of years, or understand, what it is to be in a relationship and what you have to do and the steps you have to take in order to not only coexist with someone, but to live a good and happy life with that person. Thank you so much for watching. This is Billionaire Proverbs, Steve Billionaire. Have a good morning if you're watching in the morning. Have a good afternoon if you're watching in the afternoon. Have a good evening if you're watching it in the evening. Have a beautiful day. Steve Billionaire. I'm out.